There is a silent tragedy playing out in the lives of millions of people across the globe right now. Perhaps it is playing out in yours. You have set the goals, you have built the vision boards, you have visualized the profound wealth, the unshakable peace, and the deep, fulfilling love you desire. You wake up every morning and you grind. You put in the forced effort, you take the massive action, and you exhaust your physical and mental resources trying to pull your dreams into reality. And yet, despite all of this agonizing effort, an invisible glass ceiling remains. You take 2 steps forward, only to be violently pulled 3 steps back by an unexpected expense, a sudden conflict, or a wave of self-sabotage that you cannot explain. Why is this happening? Why does the universe seem to resist your most desperate desires? I am going to reveal a truth to you today that will completely shatter the illusion of why you have been stuck. And I must warn you, once you hear this, you cannot unhear it. It will change the fundamental way you interact with the quantum field forever. You are not failing because you lack effort. You are failing because the person you are trying to become is at war with the person you subconsciously believe you are. Most people treat the kingdom of God, the field of infinite, absolute potential, like a cosmic marketplace. They believe manifestation is an acquisition strategy. They ask, how do I get the money? How do I get the peace? How do I get the relationship? But the field does not respond to what you want. It responds to who you are. If you stay with me until the very end of this transmission, you are going to undergo a fundamental identity shift. I am going to walk you through the precise, step-by-step protocol to define your quantum identity. We are going to dismantle the outdated self-image that is rejecting your abundance, and we will reconstruct a frequency so powerful, the external world will have no choice but to bend to it. Do not skip ahead. The architecture of your breakthrough requires every single layer we are about to build. To master the application of manifestation, we must first understand the biological and psychological machinery of the human avatar. We must look at the science of the self-image. In the groundbreaking work Psycho-Cybernetics, Dr. Maxwell Maltz uncovered a psychological truth that perfectly mirrors the ancient Hermetic principles. He observed, "You will act like the sort of person you conceive yourself to be." Let us pause and examine the gravity of that statement. Your mind is a cybernetic mechanism. It is a highly advanced guidance system designed to hit whatever target your self-image has locked onto. If your internal identity, your deepest, most private conception of yourself, is built on the narrative that you are a struggling survivor, your cybernetic mechanism will ensure that you continue to survive, but it will violently reject anything that looks like thriving. If your self-image is anchored in the belief that money is hard to make, then the moment an easy, abundant opportunity presents itself, your nervous system will perceive it as a threat to your identity. You will procrastinate. You will find a flaw in the plan. You will self-sabotage. Why? Because the human ego would rather be comfortably miserable and right about its identity than step into the terrifying unknown of massive success. You cannot outwork your self-image. You cannot out-affirm it. You cannot trick the quantum field by pasting a temporary positive thought over a permanent identity of lack. This is the exact teaching handed down by the Christ consciousness thousands of years ago when it was declared, "Neither do men put new wine into old bottles, else the bottles break, and the wine runneth out, and the bottles perish. But they put new wine into new bottles, and both are preserved." The new wine is the high-frequency reality you desire, the millions of dollars, the perfect health, the divine relationship, the unshakable peace. The old bottle is your current identity. It is the person you have been playing to survive your trauma. If the universe were to suddenly pour the massive frequency of absolute abundance into the fragile, cracked vessel of an identity that feels unworthy, it would destroy you. The nervous system would shatter under the weight of an energy it is not built to hold. The money would be squandered, the relationship would be sabotaged, the peace would turn into paranoia. Before you ask for the new wine, you must become the new vessel. If you are beginning to realize that you have been using an outdated identity to try and build a new future, I want you to anchor this realization right now. Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. In the quantum field, physical actions create energetic anchors. By subscribing to this channel, you are sending a definitive signal to your subconscious mind that you are no longer aligning with the frequency of your past. You are committing to the frequency of your highest potential. Welcome to the kingdom. Now that we understand the psychological block, we must look at the quantum solution. How do we build this new vessel? How do we construct a quantum identity? We turn to the contemporary language of mysticism. Dr. Joe Dispenza has dedicated his life to mapping the intersection of neuroscience and quantum physics. He states a truth that is absolute. You cannot create a new future holding on to the emotions of the past. Your emotions are the magnetic charge of your energetic signature. Your thoughts are the electrical charge. Together, how you think and how you feel broadcast an electromagnetic signature into the quantum field. Who are you right now? When you wake up in the morning, before you check your phone, before you remember your problems, there is a blank slate. But within seconds, you remember your history. You remember your bank balance. You remember who offended you. You remember your limitations. And in that moment, your brain fires the exact same neural pathways it fired yesterday. Your body produces the exact same chemistry it produced yesterday. You are literally living in the past. And because you are broadcasting the frequency of the past, the quantum mirror of the universe reflects a tomorrow that looks exactly like yesterday. You are trapped in a biological time loop. To break the loop, you must understand the hermetic principle of mentalism. The all is mind, the universe is mental. Everything that exists in your physical reality right now began as an unseen thought. Therefore, to change the physical reality, you must become the architect of your unseen mind. You must stop reacting to the three-dimensional world and start generating the reality from within. Charles Haanel, in the legendary Master Key system, provided the ultimate instruction manual for this architecture. We must be before we can do, and we can do only to the extent which we are. Did you hear that? We must be before we can do. You do not act your way into a new identity. You assume the identity, and the aligned action flows effortlessly from that state of being. You must become the person who already has the abundance. This is the phase of the journey where most people give up. When you decide to drop your old identity, you enter a space that mystics call the void. It is the uncomfortable, eerie stillness where the old you has died, but the new you has not fully materialized in the physical world. Your friends might not understand you anymore. The old coping mechanisms, the complaining, the victimhood, the bonding over trauma, no longer feel satisfying. Yet, the physical manifestation of your wealth and peace has not yet arrived to validate your new state. You will feel an intense urge to retreat to the familiar pain of your old identity. The familiar pain feels safe to the ego. The unfamiliar peace feels terrifying. Do not retreat. The void is not a punishment. It is the incubation chamber of the kingdom. It is the space where the quantum field is stripping away the density of your past so you can be light enough to make the leap. If you are currently in this void, if you feel completely unrecognizable to yourself, if you feel isolated, if you feel like everything is falling apart, I need you to know that nothing is going wrong. You are not falling apart, you are falling into place. The caterpillar does not view the cocoon as a tomb, it views it as a laboratory. In just a moment, we are going to enter the guided protocol. But I need your full, undivided attention. Remove any distractions. The protocol you are about to experience is designed to bypass the analytical mind and rewrite the code of your subconscious identity. If this video is providing you with the exact confirmation your spirit has been seeking, take a moment to hit the like button. When you engage with this frequency, the algorithm recognizes your alignment and will continue to supply you with the exact spiritual technology you need for your expansion. We will now begin the architecture of your quantum identity. Close your eyes. Take a deep, slow breath in through your nose, drawing the air all the way down into the base of your stomach. Hold it at the top, and exhale slowly, releasing all the tension in your jaw, your neck, and your shoulders. I want you to imagine a vast, infinite space of pure white light. This is the quantum field. This is the kingdom. There is no time here. There is no past here. There is only absolute, unformed potential. In this space, you are going to meet a very specific person. I want you to call forward the version of you who has already manifested everything you desire. The version of you who is living in profound, unshakable peace. The version of you who possesses absolute financial freedom. The version of you who is deeply, unconditionally loved. See them standing before you in this light. Do not focus on what they own. Do not focus on the cars, the houses, or the bank accounts. Look at them. How are they standing? Notice their posture. It is not rigid with defense, nor is it slumped in defeat. It is upright, relaxed, and open. They are standing in the absolute certainty of who they are. Look at their face. What is the resting expression on their face? It is not anxious. It is not calculating. It is a soft, gentle expression of complete satisfaction. They have nothing to prove, nothing to protect, and nothing to hide. Now, I want you to step into their body. Merge your consciousness with this future version of yourself. Slip into their skin. Look through their eyes. Feel the physical sensation in your chest right now. What does it feel like to wake up in the morning knowing that every single bill is paid, that your family is safe, and that your purpose is fulfilled? It feels like a deep, warm exhalation. It feels like relief. It feels like an expansive, radiant joy. Breathe that feeling into your heart right now. Memorize this chemical state. Now ask this version of yourself, how do I think? When an unexpected bill arrives or a conflict arises, how does this quantum identity react? They do not panic. They do not spiral into scarcity. They smile, knowing that their supply from the Father of Spirit is infinite. They observe the illusion of the problem from a place of unshakable power. Ask this version of yourself, what do I no longer tolerate? Feel the boundaries of this new identity. This version of you no longer tolerates self-doubt. This version of you no longer participates in gossip, complaining, or conversations anchored in lack. This version of you no longer accepts the identity of a victim. You are the creator. You are now holding the new wine. You are now the new vessel. But the challenge of manifestation is not reaching this state in a meditation. The challenge is maintaining this state when you open your eyes and walk back into the three-dimensional world. When you open your eyes today, the physical world will still look like yesterday. The lagging indicator has not yet caught up to the shift you just made in the quantum field. This is where your mastery is tested. When your biology tries to pull you back into fear, when your ego tries to convince you that this is all just wishful thinking, you must forcefully interrupt the pattern. You must remember the hermetic truth, as within, so without. If you maintain this quantum identity, if you walk, talk, eat, and breathe as this new version of yourself, the external world has absolutely no choice but to reorganize itself to match your frequency. It is a physical, quantum law. The mirror must reflect the object. Do not wait for the wealth to feel abundant. Feel abundant right now, and the wealth must follow. Do not wait for the relationship to feel loved. Generate the love from the kingdom within you right now, and the relationship must materialize. We must be before we can do. This is not a one-time exercise. This is a perpetual practice of spiritual hygiene. Every single day, you are either reinforcing the old identity of survival, or you are constructing the new quantum identity of absolute abundance. You must be ruthlessly vigilant about your state of being. When you find yourself hesitating, ask yourself, what would the quantum version of me do in this moment? And then, no matter how terrifying it feels to the old ego, take the aligned action. One aligned action, taken from the frequency of the new identity, is more powerful than 1,000 forced actions taken from a state of fear. One aligned action creates a ripple in the quantum field that alters the trajectory of your entire life. You are not falling behind. You have not missed your window. Everything that has happened to you up until this exact moment was simply the fire required to melt down the old vessel, so the new one could be forged. The Father of Spirit is not withholding anything from you. The kingdom is entirely yours. It is fully accessible, fully funded, and waiting for you to assume the throne of your own consciousness. As we bring this transmission to a close, I want you to carry this frequency into the remainder of your day. If this deep dive into your quantum identity resonated with the core of who you are, I want you to leave a physical marker of your commitment. Go to the comments and type, "I am the new vessel." By doing this, you are building a community of coherence. In the quantum field, when multiple consciousnesses align on the same high frequency, the power of manifestation multiplies exponentially. Read the comments of the others who are doing this work alongside you. Feel the collective rising. Do not let this be just another video you consumed and forgot. Let this be the exact moment, the precise coordinate in space and time, where you finally put down the heavy, exhausted identity of the past and stepped fully into the absolute understanding of who you were always meant to be. If you have not yet subscribed, do so now. We are building an empire of the spirit, a sanctuary where ancient truth and quantum science meet to unlock the highest potential of humanity. You belong here. Stay in the peace. Stay in the knowing. The evidence is already on its way. Until next time, remember, the kingdom is within you. Walk as if it is already yours. There is one final misunderstanding that must be dissolved before we conclude this transmission. It is perhaps the greatest misunderstanding of all. Most people believe the purpose of this work is manifestation. It is not. Manifestation is the side effect. Transformation is the purpose. Read that again within your own consciousness. For years, perhaps even decades, you believed you were searching for money, success, recognition, healing, influence, or love. You believed that if you could simply obtain these external conditions, your life would finally begin. But your life was never waiting for permission from the outside world. It was waiting for your remembrance. This is why every genuine spiritual tradition ultimately arrives at the same destination. They use different languages. Some call it enlightenment. Some call it awakening. Some call it Christ consciousness. Some call it the kingdom. Some call it union with the divine. Others describe it as coherence, higher consciousness, or living from the heart. The words are different. The destination is the same. It is the moment you stop searching for the person you are meant to become, because you finally recognize that person has been quietly waiting beneath every fear you ever inherited. You were never creating a new self. You were uncovering the real one. Pause for a moment and reflect on your entire journey through this transmission. At the beginning, you believed success required more effort. Then you discovered that your identity was shaping your reality. You learned that your self-image functioned like an invisible blueprint directing every decision, every emotion, every opportunity, and every relationship. You walked through the void. You released the old vessel. You met the version of yourself who already lives in freedom. You practiced becoming that version before external evidence appeared. But now comes the most profound realization. Eventually, you stop thinking about manifestation altogether. The new identity no longer wakes each morning asking, "When will it happen?" It wakes asking, "Who can I become today?" That single shift changes everything. Because desperation always measures time. Presence never does. The old identity constantly checked for evidence. Has the money arrived? Has the opportunity appeared? Did the universe hear me? Am I finally becoming successful? The quantum identity asks none of those questions. Instead, it quietly asks, did I remain faithful to who I chose to become today? That is the only measurement that matters. Because every day you remain loyal to your new identity, you weaken the old neurological pathways. Every compassionate decision strengthens a new network. Every courageous conversation reinforces a different future. Every grateful breath changes your chemistry. Every act of integrity reorganizes your subconscious. Transformation rarely announces itself dramatically. More often, it whispers. One day you notice that something which once triggered panic barely captures your attention. One day you realize you no longer argue to prove your worth. One day you discover you have stopped comparing your journey to someone else's. One day you respond with patience where you once reacted with anger. One day you recognize that silence no longer feels empty. It feels full. These moments may appear insignificant. They are not. They are evidence that your consciousness has shifted. The external world always follows, never the other way around. Imagine standing beside a river. Every day you throw stones into the current. You expect the river to change direction immediately. When it doesn't, you assume your efforts failed. But beneath the surface, every stone subtly redirects the current. Not instantly, gradually. Then one morning, after countless unseen adjustments, the river flows in an entirely new direction. Your life works exactly the same way. The habits you repeat, the thoughts you entertain, the emotions you rehearse, the stories you tell yourself, they are all stones placed into the current of consciousness. Never underestimate the invisible. The invisible becomes inevitable. There is another truth I want to leave with you. You cannot inspire people by pretending to be perfect. You inspire them by becoming authentic. The world does not need another person performing confidence while secretly drowning in insecurity. It needs people whose inner world has become so peaceful that others instinctively feel safer around them. Notice the people who leave the deepest impression on you. Often it has very little to do with their possessions. It has everything to do with their presence. They walk into a room and anxiety decreases. Conflict softens. Conversations become honest. Creativity expands. Hope returns. Why? Because consciousness is contagious. Fear spreads, but so does peace. Scarcity spreads, but so does abundance. Bitterness spreads, but so does love. You are influencing people constantly, whether you realize it or not. The question is not whether you radiate. The question is what frequency you radiate. Years from now, very few people will remember your income. Few will remember your titles. Few will remember your achievements. But they will remember how they felt in your presence. They will remember whether your words created fear or freedom, whether your life created pressure or possibility, whether your example reminded them of their limitations or their potential. That is true wealth. The greatest success is becoming someone whose existence gives other people permission to become themselves. Now consider this carefully. Suppose everything you asked the universe for arrived tomorrow morning. The financial freedom, the perfect relationship, the thriving business, the restored health, the dream home. Every single desire. Would you finally feel complete? Or would your mind immediately invent another destination? Most people unknowingly live inside an endless cycle. I'll be happy when. I'll be peaceful after. I'll finally enjoy life once. There is always another mountain, another milestone, another finish line. But peace cannot be postponed. Peace must become your starting point. Otherwise, every success simply raises the standard for the next success. You spend your life chasing horizons that move farther away every time you reach them. The quantum identity ends this cycle forever, because it understands something extraordinary. Fulfillment is not found at the end of achievement. Fulfillment becomes the energy from which achievement is created. Can you feel the difference? One says, I need success to become enough. The other says, I am already enough, therefore I create from abundance. One drains your life, the other expands it. From this day forward, I want you to carry one simple practice into every morning. Before checking your phone, before reading the news, before opening social media, before remembering yesterday. Place your hand over your heart. Take one slow breath and ask yourself only one question. Who am I choosing to be today? Not, what will I accomplish? Not, what problems will I solve? Not, what do I need to receive? Simply, who am I choosing to be? Perhaps today's answer is peaceful. Perhaps it is courageous. Perhaps it is disciplined. Perhaps it is joyful. Perhaps it is forgiving. Choose it consciously. Then spend the remainder of the day protecting that identity more fiercely than any possession you own. Because identities create destinies. Every evening, ask yourself another question. Did I live as the person I chose this morning? If the answer is yes, celebrate. If the answer is no, do not judge yourself. Simply begin again tomorrow. Mastery has never required perfection, only consistency. Remember this, the sun does not argue with the clouds. It simply continues shining. Eventually the clouds move. Your consciousness is the same. Continue shining your chosen identity. The temporary conditions of life will eventually reorganize around it. Some changes will happen quickly. Others may take months. Some may require years. Do not confuse delay with denial. Roots grow in darkness long before trees appear in daylight. Everything meaningful develops invisibly before becoming visible. That includes you. One day someone will ask you what changed. They will expect you to describe a book, a seminar, a meditation, a strategy. Instead, you may simply smile. Because the real answer cannot easily be explained. Nothing outside you changed first. You did, and somehow, everything else followed. The opportunities appeared. The relationships evolved. The right conversations happened. The impossible timing unfolded. Not because you manipulated reality, but because you finally stopped resisting it. You became coherent. You became available. You became aligned. And alignment accomplishes what force never could. So as this transmission reaches its final moments, I invite you to make one last commitment. Not to me, not to this channel, but to yourself. Promise yourself that you will never again define your worth by temporary circumstances. Promise yourself that you will never again mistake delay for failure. Promise yourself that you will never again abandon the person you are becoming simply because the evidence has not yet arrived. Trust the unseen. Honor the process. Protect your peace. Guard your identity. Live from the kingdom within before asking anything from the world without. Because that is the great secret. The person you have been searching for has quietly been searching for you all along. And now, you have finally met. If this journey has spoken to something deeper than your mind, if it has awakened a knowing that was already present within you, leave this final declaration in the comments. I am living evidence. Not because you have arrived at the end of the journey, but because today you chose to stop living as the person created by yesterday and started living as the person created by possibility. Carry this identity into every conversation, every decision, every challenge, every sunrise. Stay rooted in peace. Stay faithful to the unseen. Stay aligned with your highest nature. And remember, the greatest misunderstanding of success was never believing you needed more. It was forgetting that everything essential was already waiting within you. Walk forward as living evidence. The kingdom is within you. Now let the world witness what that truly looks like.